the estimate in Australia is that 1 in 20 of us live with diabetes. That's according to the Australian Institute of Health and Welfare. And most people with type 2 diabetes can manage it well with diet. But what happens when you have to change your diet due to religious fasting, like, for example, the Islamic festival of Ramadan? Because Ramadan starts next Monday, the 11th of March. Federation University Professor Muhammad Aziz Rahman is studying diabetes, and it's challenging during Ramadan. Good morning. Happy Ramadan, Professor Aziz.
Good morning, Jono. How are you?
Very well. Can you just, for the uninitiated, explain what Ramadan is?
Sure. So that's the holy month of fasting for many Muslims around the world. So, 1 in 4 of us are Muslims and globally. And most of them really celebrate this month of fasting when they fast from sunrise to sunset, when they are not allowed to have any food or any drink.
Right. How does that affect someone who, like, as you say, 1 in 4 people on earth are Muslim? So how does that affect people who have diabetes?
The challenge is because, as you can see, there is a key disruption not to have any food or drink for almost 12 to 15 hours, depending on the geographical location. So it is really important how they manage this situation. But I must mention these things. Say, for example, if someone is at risk of having complications, if they are really at the advanced stage where they should not fast because it will impact on their medication intake and all of this. The best person will be to talk with the GP and decide not to fast. But whether they should be allowed to fast or not, whether the medication alteration is possible, so the better is to talk with the respective GPs before they start doing this fasting.
Yeah, okay. Is there a provision in the Quran or provisions within Islam that allow people who might have things like diabetes that might allow them not to fast?
Yes, there is. So really, if there's any condition, not only diabetes, but also pregnancy, liver disease, gastric ulcer, if there's anything that is impacting on their health, so it is allowed not to fast. And if the situation is really temporary at that point in time, so they can cover this up to give a charity at that time. So they even don't need to fast at that time. And they can cover this thing up when they are well. If it is a chronic condition, so there is an option that they can bypass this rule by giving a charity, which is called fidya. So they can do this thing, and they can still get the same benefits as someone is fasting.
Yeah, okay. 10 past 10, you're on ABC Victoria Statewide Mornings. Professor Muhammad Aziz Rahman from Federation Uni is with us, talking about Ramadan coming up next Monday, or starts next Monday, the 11th of March. But what happens if you are fasting between sun up and sundown, and you might have a condition like diabetes? Because just from an outsider's point of view, Professor, it seems as if you're not eating during the daylight hours, and then the danger for me would be I'd get to after sundown and want to have a really big meal. But what are the dangers of eating too much after the sun goes down?
Yeah, that is a bit challenging. So sometimes, not even the people with diabetes, even the healthy adults, they also think of, okay, so that's a good time that we'll devour with lots of food. And the really good traditional food is to have lots of fried food and sugary drink. So that is really not recommended. The religious recommendation is to break your fast with dates, and dates have lots of food values, and drink really plain water. So the people with diabetes, definitely they need to be very cautious not to have this overeating when they'll break the fast, because they don't want to get into the risk of having the hyperglycemia when they will break the fast.
Yeah, right. How long does Ramadan go for? Like, how long does the fasting go for?
In Australia, it will be really 12 to 14 hours, but really in some part of Europe, when you think of Sweden, really sometimes it is more than 20 hours.
Oh, that's between sun up and sundown. No, but I mean, like, how many days?
It is about 29 to 30 days. So it depends on the moon side, but at least 29 days.
Okay. Would there be provision for, people who, and I know you said there are allowances for people who might have diabetes or conditions like that, but to fast for a week and then for the rest of Ramadan eat a more regular diet?
If they want to follow the rules, and if there is no contraindication for them to manage their medication, because the main challenge is the people with diabetes, they need to manage their medication, whether it is oral medication or insulin. So after talking with the respective GPs or diabetes educator, if it is allowed that they can change their medication, say for example, if it is twice a day, they can take this thing during the morning, it's called suhoor, and during the iftar, they can still continue. So they should not have any disruption. But as I mentioned, there is always a provision if there is a health risk that it will impact on their health. There is an option that they can stop, and then they can cover this up at the later time.
Yeah, okay. And will you be partaking in this? Will you be fasting come next Monday?
Yes, I am looking forward to it.
Yeah. And what are the benefits for you? Like, why do you think it's an important thing to do and to celebrate Ramadan?
The first thing is because it is not about the fasting, it is the month of having this self-purification. So it is more spiritual. So we call this thing is a month of self-regulation, self-control, self-training for Muslim. And the religious value of this thing, the holy book that we believe in, Quran, so that was revealed in this month. So sometimes people think, oh, it is just fasting. It's not about the fasting, because in this month it is expected that we'll be more connected with the God, we'll do more charity, we'll be more spiritual. So these are more of those values rather than just having the diet. If you think of the intermittent fasting, so the concept is almost the same. So we can do this thing at any time of the year, but this specific month specifically for this holy book and other spiritual connections. So probably that is the main why people fast who are really healthy.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for explaining all of that. When does your paper come out? You've been researching this. When does that come out?
I'm hoping to do this thing really soon. I'm hoping by the end of this week. I'm working with the media people at Fed Uni, so hopefully it will be out by end of this week.
Yeah, okay. Thank you so much for your time, Professor Mohammed Aziz Rahman from Federation University. Talking about Ramadan starting next Monday, and he's been looking into the challenges of observing Ramadan if you have a condition like diabetes.
Thank you very much, Honor. Really appreciate it.